All right, America One, folks, my apologies that there's so much in the way of video to listen to me talk about this particular point, but there's quite a bit of information to cover. And so this would be the last one for actually what's just chapter one. What you have to realize is this: we go from dealing with the Reformation, we go from dealing with the Reconquista. You see the advent of the Spanish. You see Columbus coming to the New World. He's one of several people. What will happen is he's going to establish a foothold in the New World in the Caribbean. What he's going to bring with him is this. He is going to bring with him the Society of Jesuits. He's going to bring with him the Catholic Church. He's going to bring with him the Spanish Empire itself. And they're there for one thing. They're there for establishing a foothold and money. This is mercantilism. Mercantilism, sweet and simple, is this. We're going to establish an empire. With the empire, we're going to create colonies. The purpose of the colonies is to make sure that they give the mother country money, gold, supplies, whatever it takes to make them rich. It's also known as bullionism, and the idea is gold and silver bullion in your treasury make you rich and make you strong and make you powerful. What will happen is because of Columbus, we're going to go ahead and spread into the New World. We're going to go ahead and establish via the conquistadores, right? Conquistadores, which are going to be the Spanish equivalent of explorers. They're going to proceed in a military fashion, right? They're going to bring the army. They're going to go ahead and thanks to Hernan Cortez, right? He's going to go ahead and conquer the Golden Empire. He's going to go ahead and conquer the Aztec civilization. He's going to move from the Caribbean into what we think of as modern Mexico. He's going to go ahead and create what becomes known as New Spain, and it's going to expand from there. In order to colonize, they're going to create a system called the encomienda system. Encomienda. And the encomienda system is going to be the issuing of land grants and authorities by the Spanish government, by the crown, to select groups of people that said, hey, boom, listen, this is your land. I own it, but you're going to run it for me. And these are your people. And as such, you owe us this much rent each year. Now, how you get that from these people is pretty much up to you. Just make sure you be nice to them. This is the beginning of the Columbian Exchange. Columbian Exchange, not a good idea. Columbian Exchange is we find new kinds of food. We find new kinds of customs. We find new kinds of valuable rocks. We give them new kinds of food. We give them new kinds of disease. We give them new kinds of terrible things that nobody wants. The effect of the Columbian Exchange on North America, Central America, South America, those people, is catastrophic. They are wiped out by the millions. Whether it is direct disease, whether it is overwork from the mining, whether it's overwork from the crowded living conditions, just a variety of things. What we do know is this. There are, they think, upwards of 10 to possibly 20 million Native Americans when Columbus first arrives. And in less than 100 years, that's cut to, a quarter almost of what it was before. What's going to happen is they're going to spread into North America, Columbus and other folks. The Spanish will extend. They'll go ahead and create a better foothold. They'll spread to the Gulf of Mexico. They'll spread to parts of the Southwest, Arizona, New Mexico, California. They'll spread, if you go with Pizarro will go down and meet the Incas and defeat the Incas into South America. We know that, Ponce de Leon is going to go seek for the Fountain of Youth. He's going to look around Florida. Okay, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of spread going on. What we do know is this. They're going to take with them the Bible. They're going to take with them the Catholic Church. They're going to take with them the Spanish idea of what is right and what is wrong, and all that is wrong for the folks in the New World. So you're going to see a lot of pain and suffering just for the essence of greed in itself. That's important because this is what the Spanish are doing. All right? They're not immune to what's happening in the Reformation, because what's going to happen is you're going to, within the Catholic Church, look at the Counter-Reformation. You're going to look at the Spanish Inquisition. You're going to look at changes within the church, which are eventually going to catch up with the Spanish. But the other things you have to realize is they're going to establish this foothold, and that's huge. What else you have to realize is what's happening with the rest of Europe in this Reformation is important, because what will happen is the Reformation will spread. It's eventually going to get into England. It's eventually going to get to Great Britain. It's going to affect them because they're going to have the Protestant Reformation. And the Protestant Reformation is unique because what's going to happen is the king at the time in England, a guy named King Henry VIII, who is a devout Catholic, is going to be in need of an heir. Apparently his wife will not have, just refuses to have a male child, or at least one that's survivable. And so what he's going to do is take the logical pathway and say, listen, I got to replace her. I need to get a divorce. Pope's going to say, I'm sorry, we don't do that in this church. And so he's going to go about a couple of different ways to set it up. He's going to decide the best thing to do. You know what? If the Catholic Church won't give me a divorce, then he's going to go ahead and replace the Catholic Church in England. He's going to create the Protestant Reformation. The Protestant Reformation will create the Church of England, or the Anglican Church. He's going to take all the Catholic churches in England and make them his own church, and then seek a divorce. Still can't get it, but it changes everything. This is important because what this does is it creates religious disunity. Okay, this is the beginning of a long series of struggles when it comes to Europe, when it comes to Britain, when it comes to a lot of things that are happening. And so this religious dissension, because switching from Henry to his heir, to the next heir down, there's a lot of indecision. There's a lot of struggle about who's going to be in power. So before I switch subjects, I'm going to leave you here. And then in chapter 2, I want to talk real quick about the Catholic Church, because what's important about this is it sets up a struggle between the different belief systems, but it also sets up a struggle between the king and English Parliament about who's going to be in charge, okay, about who has the authority. This is important because what we're going to start looking at is a struggle for primacy, but also a struggle for Britain and France to keep up with what's happening in Spain, what they're doing in the New World, because they realize that, gosh, look, Spain found all this gold. They found all this new land. Shouldn't we go get a bit of that? Shouldn't we be hitting that as well? And so we're going to start seeing the search for new lands for those other European powers. All right, I'll pick it up with chapter 2, and I'll try to keep that, if I can, to just a short video. Thanks.